Well, other than the petition by Raila Odinga and Martha Karua, who are the Azimio One Kenya Alliance joint ticket candidates for the presidential election on August 9th, 8 other petitions have been filed at the Supreme Court, each one seeking several prayers before the 7-judge bench. Tonight, Leila Mohammed brings us the highlights of the other petitions, which may be consolidated or thrown out by the court based on the weight of the matters presented.
Reuben Kigami's bid to argue his case before the highest court in the land took off Monday when he presented a petition challenging the conduct of the IEBC in a hotly contested race, which he argues left out some whilst favouring others. As one of the 47 independent candidates who sought to take a shot at the top seat in the land, Kigami questions IEBC's decision to lock out some aspirants on technicalities.
We want to silence this lie that we are con men.
In his petition, in which he has enjoined the 4 candidates cleared to run for office, Kigami sought to highlight that the Constitution provides for the right, without unreasonable restrictions, to be a candidate for public office in the furtherance of their political rights. His prayers to the court include that the presidential nomination and clearance of the 1st to the 4th interested parties for the August 9th presidential election be declared null and void. He notes that by voiding the election, the court will have upheld that the political and human rights of the petitioner were violated by the impunged acts of the respondents. Justice Martha Koome will also find on her table a petition by activist and Busia Senator-elect Okia Omtata. He digs into the mathematical challenges that he believes are the game changer in forcing a recount or complete nullification of the declaration made on August the 15th. He seeks quite a number of prayers, majoring on compelling the IEBC to avail all electronic material, devices and documents used in the vote within 48 hours of filing the petition. Due to what he terms as illegalities, Omtata and his 3 co-petitioners contend that the August 9th poll was not conducted in adherence to the Constitution, and thus the declaration of William Ruto as president-elect be declared null and void.
Asanteni sana.
The magic number of 140,028 votes that Raila Odinga says were not tallied has come up in this petition as well. Omtata says that this number, if incorporated in the final tally, will turn things around for William Ruto's win, as none of the candidates will have met the 50+1 constitutional threshold. He also argues that the tabulation of the presidential election results as announced are mathematically incorrect, to the extent that the total number of alleged valid votes published is given as 14,213,137, yet the correct total is 14,213,027 according to Omtata.
This is where we want to use.
In many of the other petitions, the unifying prayer is to seek the court's orders to invalidate the announcement of Ruto and Gachagua as president and deputy president-elect. Many note that the IEBC failed to tally the verified votes, going against the Constitution. This they pray that the court will bar permanently the commissioners from giving effect, if any, in any way, to the results of the presidential elections. Human rights activist Khalif Khalifa and others argue in their petition that Wafula Chebukati committed election irregularities and illegalities in the presidential elections and malpractices, and a report to that effect be sent to the DPP. In his prayer to the court, he seeks a declaration that a forensic audit of the electoral technology deployed in this election be conducted forthwith. His petition also seeks to have the court make a declaration that the IEBC grants access to the petitioners for a secured review of all KIMS kits deployed and undeployed in the 2022 general election, with full disclosures of the GPRS locations from the August 8th to the 15th and thereabouts. In the petition by the Youth Advocacy Africa, the petition argues that the IEBC needs to conduct an audit of the voter register that violated integrity, transparency, accuracy and accountability objectives. In their prayer to the court, they seek a declaration that IEBC conduct an audit of the technology system required as it was neither transparent nor administered an impartial, neutral, efficient, accurate and accountable manner.
There's a tradition of holding elections on Tuesdays.
They also say that the decision to postpone Kakamega and Mombasa gubernatorial elections was in the context of the low voter turnout in the presidential election, tainting it and violating the results. Julia Nyukabi's petition seeks that William Ruto did not receive more than half of the votes cast during the election for the president held on August the 9th. In that regard, she seeks to appeal to the court to order a mandatory injunction to compel the first and second respondents to announce and publish the total votes cast during the presidential election held on 9th August. In Njoroge Kamau's petition, he notes that the constitutional mandate for tallying and verification of election results, as received from the polling stations by the National Tallying Center, should be undertaken by all commissioners of IEBC and not just the chairperson, and that the Gazette Notice number 9773 is invalid and is hereby quashed. David Kariuki's petition isn't exclusively different from the rest. He seeks a declaration that the process of verification and tallying is vested in the collective membership of the IEBC and not just the chair. The court will consider the merits of each petition and give a ruling on whether or not to have the matters consolidated or thrown out for lack of merit. Leila Mohammed, NTV.